Good morning and welcome to Daybreak Live on Dominion Television, Hibado. I am Samson Balogun. This morning, our political attention turns to Kogi State, where APC has cleared former governor of that state, Yaya Bello, for the Kogi Central Senatorial race. For supporters, it is a sign of continued political relevance and influence. And for critics, it raises wider questions about political accountability, public perception, and the nature of power within Nigeria's party system. At a time when voters are demanding more transparency from public office holders, the decision is already generating strong reactions across political circles. This is our Daybreak Gist this morning. We'll also bring you the weather report and Daybreak News, where the stories shaping the nation and the wider world comes into focus.
Later, we turn to the newspaper headlines, where today's front pages reflect a nation balance in politics, security concerns, economic pressures, and social debate. And joining us for that analysis this morning is Afolabi. Then our attention shifts to a deeply troubling issue in our big story, the Oyo school attack, a national wake-up call or another forgotten tragedy. When violence reaches learning environment, it shakes more than a community. It raises urgent concerns about safety, preparedness, and the ability of institutions to protect the vulnerable. Will this incident lead to serious national reflection and reform, or will it become another headline that fades with time? And joining us for that conversation is Dr. Kunle Okola, a security expert.
And before we round off this morning, we'll take you through Trend Watch as it takes us through the stories, reactions, and conversations dominating public attention across the country.
This is Daybreak Live. Stay with us.
Right, stay with us. Good morning.
Exactly. Good morning, Samson.
Well, it's a chilly Monday morning in the city of Ibadan. And as predicted by NIMET yesterday, that it was going to rain this morning. It did rain heavily. Of course, in some places, it is still raining. But of course, if you are still in Ibadan, if you are in Ibadan this morning and you still have some places to go, you really have to check what's going on in those places before you go out. And maybe you'll be needing an umbrella.
And dress for the weather.
Dress for the weather. You might be needing shower cap and some other things like that. Maybe an umbrella too. All right, let's talk politics this morning.
Right.
And yesterday, there are stories that former governor of Kogi State, that's Yaya Bello, has been cleared to run for Senate, Kogi Central, the same senatorial district as Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. And some people are saying, look, of course, critics have said, what happens to accountability and what happens to the stories back then when they said, oh, we're looking for Yaya Bello, we can't find him, he has cases to respond to with EFCC. And well, for some people, it's political consolidation. Relevance in some way. He left office, Ododo came on board, and since then he has not done anything politically aside from becoming a kingmaker in his own state. Now the supposed kingmaker has decided to also run for office again. But to some people, it raises questions about the ability of the Nigerian government, especially the judiciary and well, the anti-graft agencies, to do the needful. And maybe it also tells about how much of information is out there. Do they carry the people along? When you stopped looking for Yaya Bello, you should tell us why you stopped looking for him. Why you stopped prosecuting Yaya Bello. Tell Nigerians why you stopped prosecuting Yaya Bello. So we can't just assume everything is all right when it is not all right. That's the question people are asking, on the pages of the newspaper and so, of course, in some comment sections this morning.
Exactly. And I remember that Yaya Bello, I think late last year, he declared that he's going to run for the Senate. And people said, no, it's not possible with the case that you have with EFCC. And all of a sudden, we stopped hearing about the case.
Is it the fault of political parties now? Because I could remember when Malam Nasir El-Rufai was nominated to become minister in Nigeria, was on the floor of the House in the Hallowed Chamber, and one way or the other was screened out. And that is one of the reasons why you have this back and forth between El-Rufai and the APC right now. But then, if the party cannot do the right thing, I mean, what happens to the political class in general? What should Nigerians believe about the political class if you cannot, do what is right within your own political party? How would you do that with Nigeria, which is a complex case?
Exactly, and I think it's a systemic failure because ordinarily, if you have a case like that, you are not even supposed, if at all you're interested in contesting, I mean, you should keep it low and then just clear yourself, with the EFCC, and then later you can contest. Because a lot of Nigerians were surprised. They said it won't pass the screening, but then they are now seeing the fact that they are seeing the story that he passed the screening, but then he's left to contest for the primaries. And if he wins, I think that's when the real problem
will not win primaries in the States?
No, never say never, really. He can lose.
He has the structure.
He has the structure and he has the popularity, and maybe the money too. Yesterday, I also read a particular headline of Cubana chief priest, and then he lost the primaries in his.
He came back to say he did not even contest.
Yeah, and they said he didn't contest. That the governor told him it's not your turn yet. When it's your turn, you can come back. And I also saw an encouragement message that Sheyi Tinubu also sent to him to say, okay, sometimes we win, sometimes we lose.
Some would have thought someone like Sheyi Tinubu would have used his influence to
just help him. And I remember there was a time he said we are going to give APC about 1 million votes, or maybe more than 1 million votes. I really cannot remember, for somebody who could not even win. But okay, he came out to say, I didn't even contest. Maybe
he said it was in Abuja.
Exactly. Maybe we can let it slide. Then maybe we really cannot tell how popular it is in this particular state. So anyone can lose primaries, basically, except for the likes of Atiku, that is going to
Another thing is you can be popular amongst people and not be popular within your political party.
That's
the question is, when did you join this political party? How many leaders do you have in your pocket? Right?
What have you done before for the state in terms of... It's not just about you have money, you want to wake up in the morning. And maybe that's why the governor said it's not your turn yet. There are people who have served the state and they deserve this particular ticket and not you. Maybe in the next... Whatever it is that he would do during this election period towards next election, maybe
he also said he remains committed to the city boy movement. That it changes nothing, and he'll still do what he promised to do with the city boy movement.
Exactly. So let me go back to Yahabilu now. Now that he's set for primaries, really cannot tell. I mean, he's a little bit shaky whether he's going to win the primaries or not. So I think when the result is out, and then we can ascertain that he won or not, I think that will start another conversation. But let's talk about Natasha, Akpoti-Adohan now, because a lot of persons were telling Natasha to sit tight. I mean, if Yaya Bello, former governor, is coming on to say he wants to contest and he has the support of the ruling government, he might just win. So I think Natasha now is with the Wike faction of the PDP. And then Wike is also a member of APC in a way. Yes, he's not a card-carrying member, but he's in that party. I mean, there was even a time that
he's sitting on the fence.
He's sitting on the fence. Even members of River State Assembly, he found a way to register them under the APC. So he's in PDP, he's also in APC. So maybe that can count for Natasha in a way. But I think the strongest person, who is able to wield, the influence will definitely maybe win the election at the end of the day. So Natasha, maybe if people in that Kogi Central, if they can decide to say, okay, at the end of 4 years, Natasha has been senator, do we think, does she deserve another term? I think they need to answer that question, because beyond the election, whatever it is that they decide, they will need to pay for it. Just like the governor of Oyo State said recently, he said he's been able to anoint a candidate for Oyo State. Now that is leaving, but if the people, if the people do not vote for him, they will bear the consequences, whether good ones or maybe bad ones. I really cannot tell now. So it's left for the people of Kogi Central to decide who they want to vote for. Whether Yahabilu, we are not even sure whether it's going to win the primaries, but then maybe people are saying it's the APC, the ruling government, but anything can still happen, basically. And then I don't know at what point the FCC will step up and then say, okay, this case, is still going on and we are not done with it. Because I remember a representative of EFCC was on national TV, and then when they asked him about Yahabilu's case, he said they want to make sure that they have all the evidence,
facts,
before they actually take him to court, and that's why they are waiting. So for how long are they going to wait? Because I remember this Yahabilu case happened, I think in 2024, late 2024. That was when the news broke about the billions of naira. So from 2024, this is 2026. I don't know how long it's going to take the EFCC to actually solve this this problem, basically. So whether EFCC will step in, maybe they are waiting for him to win primaries before they actually step in, or maybe they are going to release a statement soon, basically.
Well, I'll go back to the issue of primaries, which you mentioned earlier. And, if judging by what we've seen so far with the House of Representatives primaries conducted by the APC across, the country, especially in the southwestern part of Nigeria, if that any of that is to go by, I think Yahya Bello will coast to victory in the primaries. Did you see or did you watch how they were counting? Those people that were counting are actually mathematical geniuses because, at the point it was 1, 20, 300, 310, 400, 1,000. I was like, okay, what do you intend to achieve? Because, it means that you rig here to help the other candidates in, some other centers. Now, the idea is people that were even on that, I saw about 3 or 4 clips repeating the same thing. Okay, you are counting and you'll be wondering, who taught this person mathematics? However, it's a deliberate attempt to inflate the figures. They say, oh, they counted. But, to what end? When will we continue to, will we stop all these, these kind of issues we have in our political system? This is an attempt to actually, impose some people. I could remember, I think that was a few days ago on Thursday or thereabout, there is a particular aspirant in Egbeda Onora Axis, Akiola Akenjide, who told his followers that, look, if I want to be selfish, I'll give you placards and tell you to go and protest. But at this time, please, there is always a next time. Do not protest anywhere because, it's not worth it. And do not go to their primary centers because of me. If you want to go because of other reasons, yes, you can. Because at the end of the day, you realize they are going to mess you up and you cannot even complain about what is to be done there. And boom, what he said happened at the primaries. Because he said there's an attempt to impose some people on the party, to give them tickets at all costs. And that eventually happened. If you saw, I think in Oliole, 2 people declared themselves winners. Agbolagade, Honorable Agbolagade, who happened to be a former head of late Senator Isaac Abiola Ajimobi while he was governor of Oyo State, said he won by 2,000 so number of votes. And then some people were congratulating Tolulope Shadipe that she also returned she has a return ticket to contest in the next election. The question is, who were the who officiated these primary elections in Oliole local government that declared 2 winners? Does it mean that a faction declared themselves winners and then there's a faction there's another faction who were declared actual winners? All these have to be trashed out. Or maybe the way politics is being played in Nigeria should be thoroughly, examined and changes should be made. Primaries, yes, it's been a long time, we truly had primaries in Nigeria. But even the ones that were said to have been held over, last week and, over the weekend, they are nothing to write home about. And I don't think that is internal party politics being played. I think that is, imposition in disguise. Because, I don't understand what was being done, actually. Because exactly. how they were counted, it became a joke, actually. I even posted something about it. Is this primary election or a joke?
Basically, I think you're very right, because I also watched a video where a young guy, maybe in his early 30s or late 30s, was actually complaining when he got to the poll when the primaries was being done. And then he asked the question, or maybe he just submitted that, when he got here and they asked for sleep, they told him no more sleep.
And that was Tosin Pella, exactly. The younger brother to Shina Pella.
Exactly.
He was contesting for,
he was complaining bitterly.
To be a member of the House of Reps. A candidate, an aspirant actually,
right.
who was contesting, did not get a slip to vote for himself.
And then when he started shouting, they started begging him to say, calm down, don't shout, don't make a scene. But the guy was, the more they were begging him, he was raising his voice. Right. And he was saying, no, let's shout. We are here for you. We are raising people online. We decided to come here and in my own city, and this is happening. I don't know how it ended, but that was the part of the clip that we saw. Basically, that should not happen. You see, many Nigerians, before this primaries, they felt like, the opposition parties, we have like chaotic, primaries. But then, unfortunately, we are seeing it within the ruling party, because if you check videos online, somebody cried. A lot of us, a guy was shot dead, yesterday, at a scene because of the chaos and then things that happened at the center. It should not be like that. Primary should not be a do or die affair, basically. And maybe the issue of consensus has also caused more problems, especially for the ruling party. And then I think I mentioned about a few months back, you see this surge in APC, this one that, governors, lawmakers, reps were moving into the party. It will cause a big problem because at the end of the day, the party is becoming bigger. It's becoming bigger. Yes, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu knows how to placate party members. But then, at this point, I'm sure he's wondering what is going on himself because a lot is going on within the party. Look at Oyo State, for instance, now. I don't know. Somebody said if care is not taken, APC in Oyo State might be the opposition for another 8 years if they are unable to put their house in order.
Like that anyway.
Because of the two major candidates, one is claiming the president endorsed me, that's why I resigned. The other one is also claiming that, okay, I also have the backing. Some party members are I don't know, it's a lot to unpack in Oyo State, and the leave care is not taken. The same thing that happened the last time might also repeat itself.
Talking about Oyo
basically.
State, it's quite funny how these things looking. If primary is to go by, if there is any candidate that has been imposed at the federal level, that person will win the primaries, regardless of, you might head to court, right? But then you're still going to win the primaries, judging by the kind of primary election that was conducted in the last few days. It tells a story of how they want to arrange their things in the APC come 2027. That is how they want it to be done. Because at the end of the day, you realize it's not really worth it. And for, the APC, it's becoming more and more of a challenge for them. Just like you mentioned, they might just be the opposition for another 8 years, which, as a political party, you really have to at least put up a fight. And for Chief Adebayo Adelabu, former Minister of Power, and Barrister Sharafaddin Abiodun Ali, if anything is going to happen between these two, they will have to head to the polls. And they are not just the two who are going to be contesting, for this ticket. They have about 8 people who have already gotten their nomination forms in the APC to run for office of governor. I think there is Barrister Akim Agbaje, AKK. Also, they have Ayobami, Lamadeshino, a lot of people like that who actually decided to say, look, we have a stake and we also, and they are even the ones that are saying, let's go to the field. However, when it comes to deciding who gets the ticket of a political party, it's not just about who has been endorsed. It's also about who is generally acceptable amongst the people. Because your political party will bear the brunt if you go to the polls and lose. And for another 4 years, your party members will stay idle, do nothing other than criticize. And I don't think that is enough. If you truly want to govern, you have to govern your party first, and then you govern the states. If you cannot go through government in your own political party, internal democracy, and some other things like that, there is no way you are finding your way into the government house. And that, for me, is one thing they really have to trash out. And I foresee if, this crack in the APC getting wider and wider, especially in Oyo State. Reason is that if there is any, abracadabra in the primary election, for gubernatorial seats in Oyo State, in the APC, I see some people staying in the party and working against their own political party because they have the structures of their own. Adelabu mentioned something recently and said, look, you said you have been endorsed by the presidency, but when you made your declaration, there was no Senaco, which is Senator Abiola Ajimobi, campaign organization, which was his own vanguard at the time when he was still alive. None of them was present. There was no Bayo Adelabu faction, who obviously also has his own structure. There was no Teslim Kolawole Folari faction, who, of course, people know Teslim Kolawole Folari to be a grassroots politician and also having his own group within each the political parties he has actually been to, PDP to APC. He has his own base. And there are also some factions, about 5 of them that he mentioned, that he said were not there when Barrister Sharafaddin Abiodun Ali, was declared his intention to run. And away from there, after that, there was also this insinuation that, when these things was being planned, someone said there are members of the National Assembly who are actually with Barrister Sharafaddin Abiodun Ali. And when I sat down and thought about it, okay, Honorable Remi Oseni, who is actually Ido and Ibarapa, representing Ido and Ibarapa Federal Constituency in the Green Chamber, was supporting, Barrister Sharafaddin Ali. And I laughed. The ticket is going to the Senate, according to some, information out there. He actually purchased his nomination form. He's going to the Senate, and he is to occupy the same seat Barrister Sharafaddin Abiodun Ali is currently occupying. So, who do you expect him to support? He's going to support Barrister Sharafaddin to leave his own path, so that he can occupy that seat. Whether Sharafaddin Abiodun Ali wins the party ticket or he doesn't win the party ticket now does not concern Remi Oseni, because he has done his own bit, because he's obviously eyeing the same seat Barrister Sharafaddin Abiodun Ali is currently sitting on. So as long as he feels like he supports is going to, get him that seat, he's going to give his support.
Just like Adekombi and Shey Makinde.
Right.
He has declared for presidency.
For presidency.
Whether he's going to win or not, doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. So all these put together, you would understand why some members of House of Assembly are actually, around Barrister Sharafa Abiodun. And also, there was this rumor, even when the president came to Ibadan for the coronation of the Olubadan of Ibadan land, and I was talking to someone and they said, look, whoever is going to be the next governor of Oyo State, the Olubadan of Ibadan land will have a say. And that for me, clears the path for Barrister Sharafa Abiodun because he was in the Olubadan's cabinet when he was governor of Oyo State. So that tells you, in a nutshell, what is actually happening in there. So the kind of support he's getting, especially from the political class who are current public office holder, is not far-fetched. It is because of, the politics being played in there. However, it might not last long, okay? If for any reason they lose their elections, okay, they are going to give it an all-out for the gubernatorial election because they will still have a stake. But if all of them that have already gotten their tickets right now, especially for the primaries that was conducted a few days ago, if they win their elections, there might just be a change in how things are done, and there might be the reason I'm still wary of some people who have stayed silent in the APC, especially for Senator Teslim Kolawole Folarin, is that there might be an alliance that is still not clear to everybody. What gives you the assurance that he's even in support of any of the aspirants in the APC? What if he's already working out an alliance with maybe APM or another political party? Say, look, I'm with you in all of this, because he's been, to an extent, some would say, especially his loyalists will say he's been cheated out of the whole arrangement. There was insinuations that the president told him not to contest because you are never getting the ticket. The same thing he said to Adelabu at that time. Now that Adelabu has forced his way into getting the nomination form according to some people, let's see what will happen by 2027.
And of course, some are saying maybe the president might just be the one person that will make the final decision. For all. Exactly, on this particular matter, because this is not the first time we are seeing a crisis like this in APC, especially Oyo State APC. I mean, there was a time that Adelabu had to leave for a court, but then he doesn't have too many choices right now because
whether he wins the primary election or he doesn't win the primary election, he has to stay within the APC. He has to stay within the party. Although he can, there are sometimes anti-party activities might just happen.
And that was what led to the defeat of APC, even during the last election, even when Makinde won his first time. So if APC is actually not careful, working against the party, we see it all the time. And that's because some party members feel, oh, this person should be the candidate, or this person should get a ticket and not that person. And people have loyalty, just like you mentioned. And it goes beyond even the activities within the party. People have been friends for a while and they'll say, it doesn't matter, come rain, come sunshine, I'm going to support this person. So good luck to, I think we're going to find out, shortly who is going to be the
It's just a matter of time.
Because people are speculating, it's going to be Sharafadi, it's going to be Adelabu. Because I remember, there was a timeline that the president gave that if at all you want to contest, for anything, you should drop your resignation letter. But Adelabu did not drop his resignation letter on that day. It was days after, or even weeks before he actually decided to resign. Weeks. And then I remember that, before that time, he went to the president. Photos, we saw the pictures online. He paid the president a visit, and then maybe that was done just to speak to the people, or just preach to them that okay, I didn't just resign because I wanted to resign. Actually, I have the backing of the president. So if two people are claiming I have the backing of the president, we will see who would get the full backing and over as we progress, the final backing. Because I think at the end of the day, the president will have like a say in all of this. I mean, he's the father of the party, and if you know him too well, just like some people will call him a kingmaker, he knows how to install a king, and he knows how to say, okay, your time is up. And that's why you see some persons that were given appointment, we just woke up in the morning and we saw that this person resigned. And then when people were saying, oh no, this person did not resign, they sacked him, the president will come and release a statement to say, he resigned now because of his health issue. You remember Wale Edun? People were saying, no, Wale Edun was sacked. And then they were able to make reference to exactly, IG. So it doesn't matter. Your job is just like, what do they call it now? When you get a job in a particular firm, you know that you can wake up in the morning and then you are no longer a member of
your clearance will be,
exactly. So good luck to these people. But at the end of the day, I think APC or your state, I don't know what is going on. Maybe because there are a lot of persons who are very ambitious in the party. You can't really compare it to some other states. They are very quick to align and agree to say, okay, this is the person that we want and that we are going to support them. And I think they might make the mistake that PDP made in 2022, and that's why the party is in shambles right now. Because the G5, even though unfortunately it has scattered, they were in alignment at that time, and the people were even scared for Makinde. And some other governors who wanted to run for second time. To say, this game you are trying to play, it might cost
people like Okeze Ekpazu,
second time.
Samuel Otom,
they were done with two terms. Even Wike, but then all of a sudden, I don't know the kind of game that, those governors played. They won second term, and at the end of the day, the alliance that Makinde had with the president in 2022-23 did not last long. We saw what happened when he had the media chat last year, and he said, I regret supporting the president, this and that, and, so many other things. So basically, they need to play their game well. Let them not repeat the same mistake of PDP. Now that we even have the Wike faction, even though I remember when some were saying, oh, we want to align with the Wike faction of the PDP to actually join us, some persons are saying, don't believe that is a lie. We are never going to be. Wike will never support anything that has to do with Makinde. And these two were friends. That tells us that people can be friends today. In the next, you see, Wike and Fayose. Anywhere, anytime Fayose goes on national TV, there's no how. He will find a way to mention Makinde's name, and then we find a way to defend his friend Wike. Who knows? In the next 2-3 years, they might no longer be in that space, and that's politics for you. Because politics will always, it's not just about now; it's about later. What will happen in the next 5-10 years, basically.
Well, it's a convenient place to leave that topic this morning. We say thank you for being a part of the show so far. Do not forget to link up with us on all socials. But we'll go on a short break right now, and when we return, it is time to take the news. We'll be back.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast and on X at Dominion Casts. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime. From stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB Van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live? Like never before. Book the OB Van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok @Dominion Broadcast and on X @DominionCast. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of next level broadcasting.
This is the OB Van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime. From stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB Van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live like never before? Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
Glad to have you here. This is Daybreak News on Dominion Television. Ibadan. Amoluwayemi Adelakun.
Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
I welcome you back. Thank you for staying with us. It is still Daybreak News on Dominion Television. The Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Riwandisu, has visited Oyo State following the deadly attack and abduction in Norire local government area. During the visit, the IGP expressed condolences to families of victims and met with security officials to assess ongoing rescue efforts. It was accompanied by Kwara State Commissioner of Police, Ojo Adekemi, and Schools Protection Squad Commissioner of Police, Abayomi Shogule. The IGP also had discussions with Oyo State Police Commissioner, Abimbola Yodiji Olubenga, and other security stakeholders. He assured residents that intensified search and rescue operations and security deployment are on the way to secure the release of abducted victims and apprehend those responsible. Meanwhile, the Alaafin of Oyo, Oba Akeem Owadi, has urged the federal government to adopt a broader intelligence strategy, including native intelligence systems to tackle insecurity. In a statement following attacks and abductions in parts of Ogbomoso, the monarch called for stronger intelligence gathering and proactive security measures. He warned that rising insecurities were eroding public confidence and causing widespread fear and displacement. The monarch also commiserated with families affected by the attacks and called for an overhaul of the nation's security architecture. The Ekiti state government said it has paid over 9.7 billion naira as counterpart funds to the Universal Basic Education Commission. Chairman of the State Universal Basic Education Board, Femi Akinwumi, disclosed that the funds were paid between 2022 and 2025. He explained that the payments have improved teaching and learning environment, increased school enrollment, and reduced the number of out-of-school children in the state. The federal government has said it will soon inaugurate a dedicated radio station to broadcast lessons for adult and non-formal education learners nationwide. Director of Literacy and Development at the National Commission for Mass Literacy, Adult and Non-Formal Education, John Ede, said the initiative was approved by Education Minister Tunji Alausa. He explained that the station will deliver literacy and vocational education programs, especially to remote and undeserved communities. According to Ada, the platform will be jointly used by agencies responsible for adult, nomadic and out-of-school education. And in business, the Bureau of Public Procurement has directed ministries, departments and agencies to stop processing upward reviews of contract sums without prior approval and certification from the Bureau. In a statement, the BPP said all contract variations, scope changes and cost adjustment must now be submitted for review before any approval is granted. It explained that the new guideline is aimed at curbing cost inflation and closing loopholes linked to procurement-related corruption. It warned that violations of the directive will attract sanctions, including suspension of officers and possible debarment of contractors. And in sport for this morning, Raiders International FC have declared their readiness for the 2026 President Federation Cup. The Flying Antelopes will face Gospel Apabio FC in the round of 64 on May 19th. The match is scheduled to take place at Imba International Stadium. Rangers, who reached the semi-finals last year, won the competition in 2018. The club said it is prepared for the challenge as it begins another campaign in Nigeria's oldest football competition. You can visit our website on www.dominion.org.ng to watch us live and interact with us. You can also follow us across our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn at Dominion Broadcast and on X at Dominion Cast. And that ends the Daybreak News on Dominion Television. I'm Oluwayemi Adelakwa saying thank you for watching and good morning.
Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live? Like never before. Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
I welcome you back. Thank you for staying with us. This is Newspaper Headlines and Analysis. I'm Oluwayemi Adelakun. And this morning we start with Nigerian Tribune with the banner headline that says, as APC holds Senate primaries today, Ogun East, Kwara Central, Imo West remain contentious. And of course, Senators plot return ticket. Daniel Campaign Organization directs supporters to boycott Ogun East primary. Controversies eat reps primaries as more candidates emerge, and of course, good luck to those candidates, across the state, because even before the primaries, the screening caused a lot of issues across the state. Some persons were injured, because of maybe they are not satisfied with the ticket, they are not satisfied with the person who eventually was screened, and then they want other persons to be in the particular game. And so away from that, let's also check this one that says WHO declares emergency as Ebola outbreak kills over 80 in DR Congo. Then this speaks to the fact that we need to be very intentional about self-care in this particular period, especially now that we are seeing cases across other countries, not just in DR Congo, right now. And away from that, Nigeria not in debt crisis but doesn't have to borrow. That's coming from expert. Highlight other options. Are there other options that Nigeria as a country can actually take instead of borrowing excessively, from foreign banks? Because I think about last week we discussed, that a huge amount of money, the second largest, for this administration was borrowed, and then it's at the point of okay, we just want both parties to conclude, not at the point of okay, we are still making inquiries. And this huge amount of money, people are asking, it's not just about borrowing the money. Are we going to see the effect of the money? While some persons think this government is just borrowing for the next election, basically. And away from that, NLC pushes for fresh wage review as 70,000 implementation crisis worsens. And that headline, as this writer accuses 17 state FCT of non-implementation of current minimum wage. I remember, when we moved from 33,000 to 70,000, it was a huge tussle. And then I think NLC started with over 200,000, and then at the end of the day, they resorted to 70,000. And then people were complaining then, as I think a few years back, as at 2024, that, are we supposed to actually agree with this 70,000, looking at the state of the economy? But now this is 2026, and of course, people are still managing that amount. Now the NSC said we want something better than 70,000 naira because of the state of the economy. Is the NLC going to bargain well this time around? I think time will tell. And away from that headline, let's also check this one that says, abducted Oyo school principal, teacher in videos appeal for rescue of student and teachers. And that headline has its writers, please subject viral videos to forensic analysis. Yoruba land now on the siege. That's coming from Afeni Ferry. And Northeast Southwest governors to attacks in Oyo, Ekiti, Ogun, Ondo, and Kwara. Oyo Deputy Governor visit communities, says security agencies on top of the situation. I think at this point in time, we need to be more intentional, about our state, of security across the country, not just Oyo State right now. Because I watched the video of one of the principal of the school, and then she made a video, and then she was calling on the government. I think she started from the federal government, saying that we need the help of the federal government and then the help of the state government to actually rescue these people, the students, and of course, some staff who were abducted, in that attack. And away from that, we also have this headline that says airtime lending freeze persists despite court orders affect 40 million Nigerians. I think at this point, these brands say we no longer want to borrow people airtime again, because some persons borrow more than they can pay, and at the end of the day some will stop using the SIM because they cannot afford to pay how much they borrowed. And so if you die that code now, you will not be allowed to borrow any amount. Even if you're owing, you cannot do anything, you cannot call, you cannot send text messages until you pay what you're owing. And of course, I think at the time I read a particular headline where the federal government sent a message to these people to say allow people borrow, basically, but I'm not sure they've been able to reach a consensus on that matter, because even till now, I don't think people can still borrow airtime anymore. And away from that, let's cross to the Punch newspaper. I have this headline that says primaries APC reps fight back after ticket losses. And he has this rider at 26-7 lawmakers crash out. House leader orders rejects exercise threatened lawsuit. I don't know if APC is prepared for this, particular season, because a lot is happening already, even before, the major primaries, across some states. A lot is going on. I watched a video yesterday, and then we saw that a young guy, I'm not sure he's up to 30 years, he was shot, and he was shot dead, at the seat of the primaries, and then it's a lot to talk about, basically. And away from that headline, we also have this one that says 63% of Nigerians want interest rate reduced. That's coming from CBN survey. I think that's a very valid point to say that Nigerians want more. They want a situation whereby they can have little interest to pay, because if you check some banks now, they complain bitterly about the high interest rate, and that's why some persons decided to move on to other banks so that they can get low interest rate. And away from that, another headline is saying OT, Labour Party reject Abure's 2027 nomination form sale. I think it's about to go down between these two people, especially, with Abure still very vocal in the party, even after the court, said, okay, Nandi is the chairman of the party now, and of course, Abure should step down. So, Labour Party also is having a fair share of the whole nomination form, primaries, and of course, consensus, basically. And away from that, we also have this headline that says, Hoodlums rape Lagos sexagenarian to death. That's a very sad news, basically. Federal government cracks down on unapproved contract variations in MDAs. And of course, Nigeria tightens surveillance as Ebola kills 80 in Congo. And from that paper, we cross to Daily Trust this morning. And the banner headline is saying APC reps primaries, irregularity claims shock defeat for incumbent. And of course, we've talked about that before, that a lot is going on within the APC as we speak, especially, talking about the primaries. 4 days after, Borno Oyo school children still in captivity, and we are still dealing with the fresh abduction in Oyo State, where about 45 pupils were abducted alongside, some teachers. And then Apabio Barao, 7 governors battle for senatorial ticket today. And today is a good day because we expect that there will be so much more to talk about tomorrow, even as APC prepares for these particular primaries. And the Nigerians spend 5.43 trillion naira on petrol in first quarter. That's a lot of money. And of course, our terrorists killed 17 police officers, soldiers in Yobe. News like this, I don't think we should get used to it, basically, because you hear about, people killed today, people died, in another state, and then if care is not taken, people might just see it as a new normal, which is not normal at all in this country. We cross to the Vanguard newspaper, and I have this headline that says, APC primaries, powerful reps among 50 losers. Mutu, Gadi, Etaba, Iyombre, others miss out. Speaker Abbas, deputy orders secure return a ticket. Another headline is saying, power sector, biggest scam in Nigeria. That's coming from Ajaero, that's the NLC president. I think, there was a time that, NLC president, would be very vocal about issues in this country, but he's been vocal too. But Nigerians think he can actually do better when it comes to speaking about issues and holding the government accountable. And the final headline this morning that I would take from this paper is saying, kidnappings, Senate vows to fast-track state police as IGP visit Oyo. I think people will be eager to receive it, and I want to believe that, he's not just coming here to just, take pictures and do other things. He's going to make sure that, it provides solution, and of course, they get, these people out of the den of these, bandits. A big thanks to you for being a part of this segment. We take a short break now, and when we come back, we move on to Big Story. I'm Oluwayemi Adelakun. Please stay with us.
Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live like never before? Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
All right, good morning and welcome to another interesting edition of Daybreak Live on Dominion Television, and this is the big story. And of course, today we'll be talking about something really interesting, and that has to do with security. This we have always hammered on this show. And it is no longer news that school children are being attacked and kidnapped in the country called Nigeria. But for the first time in the state called Oyo, something happened a few days ago. The principal, members of staff, teachers in the school were taken into the bushes. And is this going to be another forgotten tragedy nationally? Or there's going to be a lasting solution to security challenges in Nigeria generally? If security crisis has trickled down to the southwest, and it has gotten this bad, that we now have it happening right in our backyard in Oyo State, then the question is no longer how bad security is in Oyo State or in Nigeria. It's about how soon we are going to put an end to these incessant attacks. It is on that note I welcome you all to another interesting edition of The Big Story on Dominion Television. And I am not alone in the studio. Samson Balogun is my name, and I have the honor of hosting Dr. Kunle Okwala on The Big Story this morning. He's a security expert and a seasoned public affairs analyst. We'll be sharing his insights and perspectives on the current kidnap of teachers, principal, and of course some other notable people in that particular school. This morning I have with me Dr. Kunle Okwala. Thank you for joining us in the studio.
Thank you for having me. Good morning, good people of your state, and good morning, Nigeria.
Before we go ahead, the IG was actually in that community. and he spoke with them. Let's listen to the IG. And when we are back, we're also going to listen to the executive governor of Oyo State because he had a media chat yesterday. And after that, Dr. Kunle Okola will share his insights on this particular one. We'll be back. The IG told them not to worry. But in the real sense of it, though the people have the luxury not to worry, that's a very big question. Their family members are in the bushes. And the question is, recently, just about a year ago, the executive governor of Oyo State spoke about acquiring helicopters for security purposes. And some people are already asking questions about the whereabouts of these choppers. Because at this time, it will be serving a purpose. Area scanning will be done. Surveillance will be done. What happened to drones? How far have these people gone that it is now becoming so difficult for security operatives to know exactly what their whereabouts is? Or is it safe to link these to the recent declaration of His Excellency Engineer Abiodun Seyi Makinde to be the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Because just like the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria said, that some people are trying to use security challenge in the country to sabotage his efforts. These are more we will talk about. Dr. Kunle Okola, let me ask you this. Should the Southwesterners be worried that they now have security challenge as something to worry about at this time?
Absolutely, yes. We should be worried.
Should the Southwesterners be bracing up for a full-scale security challenge, just like it is in the North?
Absolutely, yes. Everybody should brace up, especially at a time like this. What happened in Oyo is a confirmation of what we've been talking about, that there is no place in Nigeria that is absolutely secure. There is no place. Because for a long time, there's been a well-coordinated move by the bandits and the terrorists to infiltrate every state. There is absolutely no government reserve, a forest in any state that you won't find the bandits these days. They've been coming and flooding those government reserve forests for a purpose, and the purpose is to unleash a terror on the people. If you look at what happened in Oyo, it was a well-coordinated attack. 3 schools, Baptist Nursery and Primary School, Yawota, Community High School, Ile, and LA School, Stanley. The normal procedure of operation, the attackers, they came on bike in twos. And when you look at the timings of, the attack in those 3 places, it's just few minutes separate. That means it was interval. Thank you. It was a coordinated attack, well coordinated attack. Assistant headmaster of the school, Mr. Dishin, was killed. An Okada rider person that was resisting the bandits from taking his Okada was also killed. And we now know the actual number of people that were taken captive. 46, 7 teachers and 39 students, and the ages of the students ranges from age 2 to 16 years. Boys and girls have been taken into the forest. We should be worried. We should be concerned, and our leaders, especially Southwest leaders, should be aware of the fact that the life of human beings are too costly, to play politics with, because at times like this, you cannot remove the fact that oppositions will go to any length, to discredit whosoever is an aspirant. You mentioned something that could this be linked to the recent declaration of
Governor Seyi
Makinde to be president of Nigeria. Of course, yes. President Tinubu is facing a lot today because some politicians are doing everything to discredit his government. And the moment Seyi Makinde announced that, intention, we should expect, things like this. And he himself, said it, that what happened is a gap between intelligence gathering and the sharing of information. There shouldn't be that wide gap between intelligence sharing and the distribution of information. It's quite unfortunate that, with everything that Nigerians are experiencing in terms of hardship, that this is coming on again, especially in Oyo State.
So are Nigerian schools increasingly becoming a vulnerable or soft target for bandits and kidnappers?
That's how it looks, especially those schools in the suburb, and I'd expected the government, to be a bit more proactive, when it comes to security of schools in those villages. When I saw the video of the school, there was no perimeter fencing, the ASO Prep member that was representing the area, Honorable Akala, said there was no military base, there was no police base. The nearest military base is from Ogbomosho, and you have schools, about 4 schools in those communities, and there was no plan for security for those children. And we know what has been happening in the north, where schools have been soft target for
Would you
terrorists.
say Nigerian southwestern governors are too relaxed or overconfident about security?
I think we believed that, the leaders of the south, we believed that what has been happening in the north could not happen in the southwest. And this is why we've been making effort to make, especially the governors of the southwest, to understand that, it's a coordinated attack. Once a terrorist is always a terrorist. When you push them and force them away from an area, they look for another area. There has been a lot of operations by the military in the north, forcing the terrorists to leave Borno State, to leave the North Central. And where is the next place? Southwest. Look at what has been happening in Kwara State. That alone should have been an eye-opener for the governors to brace up. They operated freely. There was no intervention of the police, no intervention of the military.
Okay, we'll come back and talk about the sole purpose why Amotekun Corps was created and was championed by the late former governor of Ondo State, Rotimi Akeredolu-san. We'll be back after. Let's listen to the governor of Oyo State and what he has to say about this recent kidnap of pupils, students, and their principals in Orire local government. We'll be back.
insecurity situation at the local government area, the abduction of some teachers and school children, and for our troops, our service commanders, and a few wounded both soldiers and hunters and other operatives. They are recovering fully, and the government will continue to take responsibility for ensuring that they fully recover and look after their medical bills. What we know right now is that 7 teachers in all are involved, were abducted, and unfortunately we got a video this morning that one of the teachers, I understand the maths teacher, was killed by the terrorists this morning. Of course, our prayers are with the family. We have decided that we will adopt not just the kinetic approach. There's been a lot of threats. There's been a lot of our leaders and elders, religious elders, especially the Baptist convention, because one of the schools involved is a Baptist school. I want to appeal. We are not taking this lightly. I want to appeal to everybody, citizens, residents, in particular of the local government and the rest of the Oyo State. I want to appeal that we're doing everything within our power to ensure that this we resolve quickly and we bring our children back safely. But it is a very difficult and challenging situation. So please, there may not be quick fixes, but we will continue to endeavor to push ourselves to the limits to resolve this quickly. And we will be briefing the press every evening, starting from this one tomorrow until more information becomes available. So that's where.
All right, that was the executive governor of Oyo State. Now, the big question that we have to ask is that just recently, the special advisor to the governor on security, and that is Fatai Owosheni, resigned his position, and he also picked the former under Accord Party to become the governor of Oyo State. Coincidentally, few days later, news broke that there are kidnaps of school children and also their teachers and principals in the Orire local government. Another big question is that, are we too relaxed when it comes to border control in the Southwest? And what is the sole purpose of Amotekun Corps? Should we have Amotekun Corps in the city center, or they should be controlling borders across the state? That's a very big question I want to ask Dr. Kunle Okola. When Amotekun Corps was created, at that time, championed by the late, posterity will judge everyone, right? Championed by the late Rotimi Akeredolu, former governor of Ondo State. He had a vision. He saw it coming. Owo was attacked, and he realized that the Southwest had to stand up. In fact, there was a lot of attacks and backlashes from the north at that time. And he stood his ground, brought all the Southwest governors together, created a Amotekun Corps. Even at the time when they were not allowed to carry arms, they fought it. And they got the right to carry arms, even though not as sophisticated as they would have wanted. But at this time, the Amotekun Corps is in Oyo State. The city centers are enjoying the Amotekun Corps. Yes, we see their posts, they arrest criminals. In fact, they stop and search. But then, the major areas that needed Amotekun Corps are not seeing the effect of Amotekun. What exactly is the problem?
All right. In the first place, the question that is begging for an answer, that every concerned person in Oyo State must ask is, why is it that this occurrence, this bandit attack happened after the former advisor on security matters, Fatai Osheni left? Is the question that is begging for an answer. And everybody should think about that. Amotekun Corps are really trying. They're doing the best they could. In fact, I'm of the opinion that if not for the Amotekun Corps that was created, jointly by all the Southwest governors, the security situation of the Southwest states will have been worse than this. The Amotekun Corps, have a number to work with. All right, they have the recruit number to work with, and I believe that for them to cover the 36 local governments in Oyo State, 33, sorry, local government in Oyo State, it's an issue. Recently, I learned that the commander is asking for more recruitment because, they actually, we're seeing their effect in the cities. But what about those villages, outskirts, and, that should be on patrol? And what about the forest guards? Where are they? Because not too long ago, the president directed that forest guards should be recruited in their numbers in every state. Where are they? Because in all this we have not had anything from the forest guards. And I believe that probably because they've not been put into action in Oyo State. The truth is that we have, when I say we, I mean the leaders, especially in Oyo State, we have been lackadaisical a bit, because for more than 2 years now, there have been stories of trailers bringing, I
was about to ask you that.
Yes, Fulanis from the north, trailers full of motorbikes coming to Oyo State. Sometimes they were, apprehended at Ojo area and things like that. The government must have done something about that. These people had infiltrated all of, government reserved area, and this is the outcome. And also, just this month alone, there was 2 incidents in that Oyo area that probably would have, prompted the security architecture in Oyo State that something is brewing. There was a man that was apprehended, a kidnapper arrested while collecting 10 million ransom for Alhaji Bagudu in Atiba local government early this month. There was another case, a police recovered 4.6 million ransom after arresting 5 suspects in Itesiwaju local government. All this within this month in that Oyo area. So I believe with all these incidents, the police and the military should have been more proactive, because we know that, abducting school children has been a soft target for kidnappers.
It's now the business in town.
It's the business in town. The next thing you're going to be hearing now is, ransom. And when you saw the video of the principal, it was actually begging.
Begged the federal government.
Begging the federal government, begging Oyo State government, and well-meaning Nigerians.
Because these people have no joy, they have no mercy.
They have no mercy. He said before they start killing us. It's what before they start killing us. You know, I was hearing that they were adopted on Friday or Saturday morning. One of the teachers was killed. And that's how they'll be doing it. There was another teacher that was carrying a baby, 2-year-old baby. All right, Mrs. Alabi, whatever her name is. She was actually begging that they should please, you know, the government of Nigeria, the government of Oyo State, well-meaning Nigerians should please come to their aid. And what are they asking for? Ransom. That's what they're asking for, you know. We pray that God will, just like the Inspector General of Police said, you know, that we should pray for them, that God will help them to be able to bring these people back alive and well.
Let me now talk about this a little bit. Aren't we too religious in Nigeria? That each time we talk about issues that could have been sorted out tactically or technically, we resort to prayers. What is our problem in Nigeria?
Nigeria is a praying nation, okay? Though sometimes we want God to do for us what He has empowered us to do.
By ourselves.
By ourselves. Sometimes after God has provided the food, we still want Him to come and, you know, spoon feed us. And He will not do that. He has given us, you know, faculty to reason and to be able to put things in shape. All right, but He is asking for our prayers. We should pray for the police, all right? But this attitude of medicine after death, you know, has been on for a long time in our security outfit. You see prompt actions after the deed already been done. Let us put, you know, let us put things in places that will prevent. Prevention is better than cure. At the end of the day, there will be casualties. And at the end of the day, if we don't learn from this, there will be other attack. You know, especially now, you know, that we know the intention of the governor of Oyo State.
To run for president.
Everybody, you can't be sure that everybody in Oyo State likes him. You can't be sure that, you know, everybody around
even at the federal level.
At the federal level likes him. You know, so the only thing that could be done now is to do things that would discredit his government.
During late Governor Isiaka Abiola Ajimobi's tenure, there was what they called Security Trust Fund, which was chaired by the current aspirant of the APC, Chief Adebayo Adelabu, former Minister of Power. At that time, CCTV cameras were installed across the states. I don't know if it's cut across all the states, but it was installed at that time, and there was a real-time monitoring system at the government house. How did we get it so bad that even all these cameras are no longer functioning? Have you been to Challenge? There was one installed at Challenge. Is it still functioning? Because for me, when I go there, I don't think
I don't think all those are functioning again, and that's one problem we have, you know, in Nigeria.
So how important are drones, CCTV cameras?
Absolutely, very important. You know, sometimes I ask, are we really, really willing politically to fight insecurity in this nation? Because all these things that you are mentioning should have been put in place. If there was CCTV in Challenge, if there are drones patrolling the area in a broad daylight, would somebody be kidnapped in broad daylight in
And there will be no traces.
There will be no traces. There will be no traces. If not for the video that the bandits are issuing now, there was nothing to show that there was an attack in that place. There was nothing to show. And it's so funny that even the video,
they took their time to
edit it. They count 1, 2, 3 principal now talk. You could hear from the background. All right? Oh yeah, madam.
You had the director.
They had the director. You know, that shows that they're having a field day in Oyo State.
So it's safe to say this is a coordinated attack.
It's a coordinated attack.
Random one.
No, it's a well-coordinated attack. You know, and I want to believe that some individuals, influential individuals, are behind this. Not just this people, because one of the teachers came up this morning.
Good English.
He said they were speaking good English. Even Yoruba, they were speaking Yoruba. They were speaking good English. They were speaking Hausa and they were speaking pidgin English. That means that, you know, it's a coordinated one. If sincerely we want to go to the root of this, you'll be shocked the names of people that will be mentioned as the masterminders of this.
So should Governor Seyi Makinde brace up for more attacks?
I think he should. I think Governor Seyi Makinde should brace up for more attacks. I think he should expect, individuals, even people that he thought he trusts so much. He should expect that they want to discredit his administration, his governance. And the man has really tried in your state. But it's the way you finish that people will always remember.
So, as it stands, will Governor Seyi Makinde end well as governor of your state?
Now, it depends on the structures put in place, especially in terms of security. It's very, very important. All right, there will be other things, propaganda that we said about him. All right, we should expect that. But in terms of security, it should work hand in hand, with security architecture of the nation. Thank God for the Inspector General of Police. I like the prompt response. All right, it happened on Friday. Saturday, he's on ground. He was there, and he communicated with the people in the language they could understand, bringing assurance to them. That has been rare, occurrence in military whatever intervention in Nigeria. But I actually appreciated and it was quite encouraging. And he actually asked for more reinforcement of more officers, to come to Oyo State, and the Commissioner of Police of Oyo State himself is the one leading the assault against the kidnappers, which is quite encouraging. I want to believe that 3 suspects have already been arrested. All right, I believe that more will be arrested, and I want to hope that these people, 46 of them, will be released without further casualty. I want to believe that.
Dr. Kunle Okola, thank you so much for joining us in the studio this morning.
Thank you very much for having me.
I really wish we had more time to explore this particular one this morning. But then we'll bring you back some other time and talk about what is the lasting solution when it comes to security, forestalling security challenge in Oyo State and, of course, Nigeria at large.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
All right. We thank him for sharing his insights, of course, with us on the show this morning. It has been a very important conversation. The safety of our children and the protection of our schools must never be treated as secondary issues. And beyond public sympathy, the Oyo State government and the federal government must swing into action and make sure that they nip this in the bud before it gets out of hand. As rightly said by Dr. Kunle Okola, there might be chances that there will be a repeat of these heinous acts in Oyo State. But what happens now depends on what has been prepared for before, and of course to lead us to snowball us to what will happen in the future. A big thank you to everyone this morning. And of course, this will be it on the big story on Dominion Television. Samson Balogun is my name. And until you meet us again, we say keep being good out there, keep being safe. We'll go on a short break now and we'll return. It is time for Trend Watch. We'll be back.
Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB Van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live? Like never before. Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
I welcome you back. Thank you for staying with us. Of course, I'm back on set with Samson Balogun. That was a really tough conversation.
It was an intense one and quite revealing.
Right. So now we move on to Trend Watch this morning, and what we have is a headline that is saying insecurity involving U.S. will attract foreign terror groups to Nigeria. That's coming from Sheikh Gumi. And of course, I think that was during an interview. And then he's saying we should not involve these people. I think he also made this same statement, during that Sokoto bombing, I think around last year, around the festive period, December, to say we should not involve them and then we can solve it. They are our brothers and things like that. We should see them, as our brothers and not, shed their blood. But Nigerians are not having the conversations. Of course, people are complaining bitterly, especially with this current, attacking Oyo State, where about 45 pupils were actually abducted. And I remember, I think he's speaking to the fact that one popular and notorious leader was actually, was killed, and then he was saying, that should not have happened. This will attract more foreign people to come. It's really a tough situation in this country because, at this point, when the government is trying to neutralize these people and there are people who are still coming out to see we should be gentle with them, it's a problem.
Well, the first thing that comes out of my mind on this particular one this morning is that there was a country. And it's so sad that most of us know where to face, but we deliberately face the wrong direction because we really do not care. Or even if we cared, there are so many forces that would, disturb us from doing what is actually right. In countries that some people will call the Sena climes, someone like Sheikh Gumi will be behind bars right now, and will have to answer to some of these bold claims he has made over the time. You just mentioned one. I was watching a video clip of him on a particular national television yesterday, and then he made some claims and then used the word us, trying to make an assertion that he's also part of these people we are talking about. However, security challenge is not limited to a particular region. If care is not taken, if the so-called peaceful area will also become troubled, just like we are seeing in the north, and it's also coming down. It came to the north central, we felt like, it's just going to be a one-off thing. Now we are seeing full-scale security challenge in the southwest, especially with the recent kidnap of school children in Orire local government. However, I want to believe that people are watching Sheikh Gumi, and not just Nigerians, even the foreign countries are looking at him. Recently wanted to travel for Hajj and was told to go back to his country, that he's not welcome in Saudi Arabia. That tells you how much of monitoring they are doing on Nigeria. The only problem I have is that, you will not be the only one that bears the brunt of this current challenge in the country. Even some other Nigerians would have to also bear the brunt. It's a usual thing that Nigerians go for pilgrimage, in Saudi Arabia, in Israel. What happens if these countries say, oh, look, we are not looking for Nigerians in our country anymore because of the security challenge, so you don't infiltrate our country and start your own, sleeper cell, and then it will become a full-scale terrorist, body in our country. So Nigeria really has to tread carefully on this one. Saying that we should not involve the U.S. also points to one direction. that you don't want Nigerians to annihilate these, terrorists.
Because these people are capable of actually
see,
helping.
the U.S., when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu traveled sometimes mid last year towards the later part of last year, he visited some countries, and also this year he has also visited some countries. I could remember he was in Turkey, he was in France, and he signed some deals with them about how to solve security challenge in a country, and I want to believe that that deal should be working out by now.
Right.
But also before now, he also made a statement that there are things that if he touched, that they will kill him. If a president of a whole country says that, it shows how rotten our security system is in the country, and how much of an influence some people called the cabals have on the security apparatus in the country. But then we can easily move past this if there is a political will to get things done. I want to believe the reason why people like Sheikh Gumi and his likes are walking free in the country is because we do not have the political will to sort things out. And as long as this continues, as long as these kidnappers, bandits, and terrorists have people backing them up, people that will defend them on national TV, I think they will continue to do more and more. I just fear for Southwestern states, because you can say we already have a crisis on our hand in the north, north central, northwest, or anywhere you want to put it, even in the northeast. We have it happening already in the southwest, and to stop that, we really have to do something as soon as possible. People like Sheikh Gumi should not be allowed on national television to further broadcast what is being done by these terrorists in the country.
Right, and of course we take comment on that particular story before we call it a day this morning. And Adenu Bamola is saying, but involving the Turkish military will not attract foreign terror groups into Nigeria. I wonder how we accept any illness from mentally. Okay.
Well, let's take this one from Ifeanyi Chukwu Jr. He says, U.S. is watching and listening. If you don't time, they harangue you. Okay? That is coming from, that's all we can take on the show this morning. We say thank you for being a part of the show so far. Do not forget to link up with us on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, at Dominion Broadcast, and on X, formerly Twitter, at Dominion Cast. You can watch us live on our website at www.dominion.org.ng. Now, the security challenge in Oyo State is an offshoot of what has happened in the north central, and it is percolating down to the southwest. This is an admonition to the Oyo State government. It's just a plea that please do everything within your capacity to save the people of Oyo State. Because if it doesn't stop in Oyo, it will go to Ogun, it will go to other states in the southwest. And this is an opportunity for us to stop this as soon as possible. Samson Balogo is my name. Join us again tomorrow for another interesting edition. Bye for now.
Okay, so on this note, I just want to say that some suspects have actually alleged that they get resources and, of course, ammunition from state governor. So what are we doing with those resources? I think we need to look at that. We should be more intentional about the intelligence system that we claim to have in Nigeria. My name is Oluwayemi Adelakun. Good morning and bye for now.